And I want to welcome you to another episode of Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer. And this afternoon, I had the blessing of contacting back a gentleman that gave me a book several months ago titled The Assassination of Fred Hampton. His name is William Hampton. He's the older brother of Fred. And I wanted to take that opportunity to talk with him, to learn about his life experience, because when we have loved ones, it's not just their story, it becomes our story because it's family. So I wanted to discuss not only the book, but also just who William Hampton is, that he saw this woman and decided to share this powerful, powerful book with me. William, say hello.
Hello, how you doing? Dr. Brewer.
You know what, you can call me Dr. Wanda. How's that?
Dr. Wanda.
I love it, Dr. Wanda. Okay, so we met each other, and you were very gracious, and you said, hey, you told me about some political stuff that you was working on. You shared with me some stuff about the community, and you blessed me by sharing with me about the book, and didn't ask me for any money. You gave it to me. Gave me a really beautiful inscription, and you blessed me with your phone number. And I decided, I said, if a man gives you his phone number just out of kindness, you should dial that number back. So I called you back, and you agreed to talk with me. What made you share this book with me?
Okay, I was coming out of a meeting at PLCCA.
Sure was.
And I'm on their board with Bishop Porter. And I was pushing the book. I've been traveling with the book with my attorneys and getting the word out about the work that Fred Hampton is dead. There was a lot of things untold, and the media had portrayed the Panthers in a lot of bad mood.
Yeah, and horrible, hostile.
And right, and we're letting people know that Fred Hampton, a young man that gave his life at 21, worked with the youth at ACP before he was a Panther.
Right.
Here in Maywood and other areas, in promoting jobs, recreational facilities, open housing,
right,
and things of that sort, better education. And when Fred, who was going to school to be a lawyer, got so involved in the movement, he put his law aside to work with the youth NACP, then became a Panther.
Okay.
Because I guess he thought things not moving as strong as they should be. He joined the Panther Party where they were speaking out against oppression and willing to even give their lives for that. Well, they weren't a gang. As a matter of fact, they were uniting gangs together to not fight each other, but to fight oppression.
Right.
And while being a Black Panther, my brother was feeding hungry kids with the Panthers.
Which many of the Panthers were. I remember the breakfast program that was in Detroit.
There you go.
Absolutely.
And they were clothing people, giving people free medical care.
Yes.
Free busing to prisons to see their loved ones, and even giving kids school supplies to go back to school with. And my brother had indicated that when kids are hungry, they can't study good in school.
Which is true. We know that scientifically,
and
yes.
they were letting people know that it's a struggle out here. You have to struggle to really, you have to go out here and struggle to fight for your freedom. It's just something you can't just wish for. And this is what he was telling people when he wanted them in the streets telling the word of what needs to be done, helping feed the people. Many people who were working with these programs weren't Panthers.
Right.
And since his death, a controversial death, it was done by the state's attorney's office, Ed Hanrahan, who was the state's attorney at the time. And we formed a vote block. That's when it was a strong black vote movement to get the black community out to vote against Hanrahan, who put on this raid. Because I guess he thought that putting on this raid, this would help him politically. But everything he tried to do after that, he went downhill.
Okay.
And we put that on, and we've since then, we have a Fred Hampton Scholarship Program, which we've given out 156 scholarships.
That's beautiful.
It was started in his name by Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Dr. King's successor, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and me and my family and other friends have worked on the fund. And every year we have a Fred Hampton. His birthday is August 30th, but we usually give out the scholarships the second week in September.
Okay.
And a lot of times we do it over at the Fred Hampton Pool. You've seen that?
I've been to it. The Aquatic Center. It's beautiful.
And then the statue, which came a couple years
Absolutely.
ago. And we have that every year where we present the scholarships.
As a matter of fact, I was impressed. I was reading in the book that was one of the a very important cause for Fred was to get the aquatic center, particularly
Right,
because
the Fred Hampton swimming pool.
the city at least had the lakefront and various spots that they could go swim, but Maplewood kids had to just suffer in that heat, and he fought very diligently.
Right, because we couldn't just go to any area, and they wouldn't let people go to a swimming pool, Cermak, but they only go certain days a week.
Right.
So Fred was saying, let's have something right near, and that's why they decided to name the pool after him, because if he was fighting for that. And Fred was always sensitive to people.
So much so that he laid his own life down for them.
Right.
He said that he was
sensitive.
excited about law.
Right. He wanted to be a lawyer to help the people more, not just to make fiscal parts.
Right.
And that's what we try to give scholarships to students who want to go in law to help the community.
Okay.
And not just for their own financial purposes.
When you give out this scholarship,
we work closely with John Marshall Law School.
And they know that that's the
right.
reason,
We
and they have a sense of who
students
Fred is?
Right. We interview students, and we try to get students who own that baseline.
Okay.
Right, and we do that, and we will continue to do that. And then I'm the president of the Fred Hampton Scholarship Fund.
Okay.
Me, my mother, and sister, and other friends, a lot of friends work on it with us. And I'm also just became a Maywood Park Commissioner. I won an election, and I'm a board member of PLCCA, work with Rev. Porterwell, who also knew Fred, where we do things in the community.
Right.
On that basis, if you know anything about PLCCA. And I'm also a director.
Really, obviously, a lot of services, community services, CETA.
There you go.
Assistance with.
CETA, a number of groups they work with.
Yeah, child care issues.
Child care, health issues.
Yes, I see that it's just like a community resource
in this area.
And
they also work with other townships throughout the Chicago, and a lot of programs that come out of Washington.
Okay.
And it's an interfaith group that Bishop Porter's with. We work with them, different ministers that we're trying to get involved in doing work for the community instead of just in the church, trying to get them out in the community.
So they have a greater effect. And,
sure.
And also, from parts I read in the book, that was something that Fred kept a pulse on, which was the immediate needs of people in the community, so that there wasn't a disconnect.
There you go, right. And then he was also working with all poor people, not just blacks, Native Americans, Asians, Hispanics, poor whites, and that's why he would use the term Rainbow Coalition.
Okay, that was his term.
Right, that's why we have all those people together, he was saying. It's like a rainbow
So that
coalition.
wasn't originally Jesse Jackson's term,
that
was Fred Hampton's
right.
term.
He would say a lot of his speeches, black power to black people, yellow power to yellow people, meaning
Absolutely.
Asians, white power to white people, brown power to brown people, meaning the Hispanics, And he would always mention that.
So he's a very forward thinker. From what I understand, he was a great orator.
Very great orator.
Great, ferocious reader.
Mm-hmm.
And
dedicated, courageous person.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And, it's up to us to let the people know about what this man gave his life for.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we continue to do it. And I'm also a director of Midwest Voters Alliance, where we do a lot of registered voters and different things.
Okay.
And I've did some things. As a matter of fact, when President Obama was campaigning and he came to Maywood at a senior citizens home that's ran by PLCCA, the one that's on 6th and Green.
Okay.
President Obama was there. Well, Porter couldn't make it, and I was there. And he asked to go by the Fred Hampton pool.
Okay.
And there's a picture up on my wall thing with me and President Obama.
Okay.
So he asked even, go by the pool. So we've had Danny Davis is one of our supporters. Reverend Jackson, he's had us come there. And every year around December 4th when my brother gets killed, he's invited us there.
Okay.
And we've had all kind of people like Jared Butler do benefits. Different athletes do benefits for us.
When these things happen, they shake up the fiber of family. You were the older brother.
Mm-hmm. Just a couple of years older.
But it doesn't matter.
I have a sister too. Mm-hmm.
How is his life still affecting you? How are you different the day before and the day after his assassination? Who is William from this experience?
William from this experience, I just feel that it's something I had to do, and it's really hard to explain. I just do it. It's not always easy, but I do it. And I feel better being still active to do it. Okay. I feel better doing it, keeping things going with that, and just sitting back, looking at, well, he was good, he did good, he meant well. I feel the more active I stayed, the better I feel.
Okay.
And I've traveled a lot, made a lot of speeches. Like we had a 14-month trial, and the lawyer that worked on that, he was one of the lawyers that wrote it.
Jeffrey Haas?
Yeah, we had 4 lawyers.
Okay.
The main lawyer was Joe Montgomery. You hear about on TV, Montgomery Cochran?
Yes.
Yeah, the black guy, light-skinned black guy, Jim Montgomery. And the 2 white guys, and him and a guy named Flint Taylor, who's now doing a lot of things with the Burge case, they're torturing.
Yes.
You hear his name, Flint Taylor?
Yes.
And one of the lawyers, other black lawyers on it, he's deceased now. He was on Jimmy Carter's Civil Rights Commission. Herbert Reed, R-E-I-D, who's also did legal work for Adam Clayton Powell, the late Adam Clayton Powell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a nice, high-powered team.
I thought so.
Very serious. And so what was the result?
Well, the results, those guys were found innocent, but we won a lawsuit.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Well, that means that if they were going to pay us that lawsuit, that means that they're showing their guilt.
Okay.
But through the court system, we had a judge that was inadequate, I thought. He's deceased now, older guy, Judge Perry, Alabama-born guy, that proves that justice wasn't what it should have been in the court.
Okay.
And that's why we protested it and got help from many different groups. And I feel that when they awarded that money and made the settlement, that kind of showed that they guilt, that they were ready to settle for something that they knew was wrong or could have, because we were energetic, young, and we were fighting it in many ways.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you really continue on very passionately out of love for your brother.
Yeah, just about it, kind of like almost devoted my life to it, almost, kind of.
Okay.
Plus, getting involved with other things that he would have liked.
Like?
He would have liked staying involved.
Okay.
And I try to follow that trend.
Okay.
So we've got the book.
So he lives through you?
I would say so. I say he lives through the whole family and many people that were part of him.
Okay.
Not just Panther members, but part of him. That book has been in many places. Schools. We've been at
this
Howard.
book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Howard. Trying to think of some of the black colleges. Howard, Morgan State, Florida A&M, Grambling, Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Do anybody ever call you back?
What do you mean to read?
Like I just did.
A lot of people do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
And
do.
what do they say to you normally? What do you
most
normally hear?
Most of them seem to like the book.
It's a good read.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was things that people knew, but also in the book is things that people didn't know, because what in that books you learn about the beginning of my brother.
Yeah, him as a human
being.
being.
Right, him as a human being, the time when he was doing it, and the time of his untimely death.
Right.
And you learn about that. And then the lawyer that wrote it, he was of Jewish descent.
Right.
He tells about his things in the southern states, being a Jew, Jewish person.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's interesting. So we plan to keep it going. The more we read it, the better it is.
Absolutely.
And we get people calling in, relatives and people calling in asking about the book.
Okay.
And it's also online, HamptonBook.com, Amazon, but a lot of people come here and hear about it and they get it. Barnes & Noble carries it.
Right.
Borders was carrying it, and different bookstores, but we get a lot of calls. People.
So why did you pass it to me, Bill?
I just saw you just look like I was trying to get more young black people into it.
Okay.
And you were in the right place. You were in PLCCA, a place of business and everything. And I'm seeing this young black lady, and I guess that's the Lord's work. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay.
Sometimes the Lord tell you to do something.
Yeah, He does.
And you don't know why. You don't know how. You don't know. Something makes you do something. Just like sometimes we do things and we say, "Dang, I shouldn't have did it," and we don't know that could have been a reason. Then some just tell you, "Well, I called him. I call her. I see a number and I call."
Yeah, because the Lord told me to call you today.
Yeah, and then
I told you I called before months ago.
Yeah, right.
And it got pressed on my spirit today. I said I really would love to
and then
talk
I
to
had
him
thought
about this gift.
about you time. Oh, so
Okay.
we're going to get it in the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis.
Okay.
Got to call them back since you mentioned about all of that. Yeah. Well, the Defender put some in the library.
Okay.
And they had a big thing for us at the Defender, book signing.
Okay.
It had a book signing for a lot of places. Put Oak Park Library,
Okay.
Oh, they were very sensitive to us at Oak Park Library.
And where is
They did one for Maywood. We got a book in Oak Park Maywood Library.
Jeffrey Haas, because this is, as much as this is about Fred, like you said, he also kind of chronicles the effect that Fred had on his life and his journey.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the family with your relationship with the author?
Good. Yeah, we keep in touch with him. He orders books when we need them.
Okay, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you see as the next best thing that can happen with this story? Because you've devoted your life to it.
Well, I think that story is going to continue to grow.
Okay.
I think the book is a big blessing and a big blessing in what we're trying to do. And as things about the movie coming later, but the book is going to really blemish everything.
And how did you handle? A few years ago, there was an effort to have an actual street named after Fred, and it was shot down in Chicago. How did you respond to that?
Well, we responded. We got the street name out here went good.
Right.
And they've got a mural around Danny Davis's office.
I see it. It's gorgeous.
Oh, okay, so you saw it.
I've
Okay,
seen
good.
that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Chairman
Okay.
Fred. Yes,
right. So we got that up. So that's a plus. The street thing. A lot of things will come later,
But you still push for it.
Yeah, we'll be pushing for it, right.
Okay.
And so many things on the agenda. So, so many things coming, So we plan to keep moving on that.
Okay, so I called you and you asked me was I ready. I mean, I've never had anybody. I mean, I call people and ask for interviews all the time. Mm-hmm. I've never had anybody say, "What are you doing right now? Come on over." You want?
Right.
What made you do that?
Well, we want to publish and we want to get as much on it as we can.
Attention. So you was excited.
Yeah, I'm going to do an interview with a guy Thursday at 11:30.
Also about?
Yeah, about my brother. In the book.
In the book.
Yeah, that's a Kennedy King radio show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I've been on different TV shows, Channel 11, Charlie Rose.
Do other people put an effort on the, I think it was Mark Clark that was with him?
They do, but you see, I think my brother was the leader of the Panthers.
Okay,
here,
so they
and
focus
Mark
on...
was more or less just a member.
Okay, and what about his girlfriend and your nephew?
There's emphasis on them, right?
And how has life been post Fred?
He's active doing things,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to tell me as I wrap up my interview?
Well, I just want to let you know that we're going to still be pushing the book, and we want to get it in the hands of more young people, and not just college people, but people in general.
Okay.
And I'm continuously getting invited to different places about the book. As a matter of fact, every place I go that I get invited to, I carry a couple of books, and I end up selling them.
Okay.
I end up selling them. People, they end up selling them.
So I got an extra blessing that I was
I'm
given.
telling you, right. And if you know anybody want to buy some, let me know.
I absolutely
But
will.
I gave this to you. I guess the Lord just meant for me to give it to you to look it over. And you're an author too.
Yeah, and I'm very much interested in the work of the Panthers. Well, the work of the civil rights, particularly the black males, because there was an organized effort to eliminate, and really what it left was the communities to the hustlers.
That's true.
So I don't think it is an accident.
No,
That,
it
we
meant
have
something, right?
a drug culture and.
Well, Congressman Maxine Waters said that was an attempt to poison and kill the movement with the drugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's
they made it. They brought that out in this movie. You ever seen this movie Panther?
No.
By Mario Van Peebles.
No, I've never seen Panther.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you can dig it up through the internet or something. Yeah.
Well, okay. So. Well, that's my show. The book is called The Assassination of Fred Hampton. You was listening to Beyond the Surface Radio with your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer. I pray that you will pick up the book. William Hampton, and his family have made it a commitment to continue to keep Fred Hampton's name alive. you'll do yourself a great service to understand the history of the Black Panther Party, particularly the life of Fred Hampton and also the author Jeffrey Haas. And it'll give you a greater perspective on the political climate that existed during the 60s in Chicago, Illinois. I thank you, and as always, until we chat again, be safe in God's grace.